Okay, here's a side view of Megan Langenfeld. She won the MVP for the College World Series in 2010. She played for UCLA. She's a fantastic player, great hitter, and here's a waist-high pitch that she hit for a home run during the World Series. She's probably a pretty good person to model your swing after. And we're going to use her and her side view to compare your swings to. So let's just go through our checklist. First we want to see back knee to pitcher and then the belly button to pitcher. So she's fully rotated her body, and those are both a check. Is her front leg straight at impact? Yes, it is. Is her back elbow bent? Yes, it is. She's up on her back toes right there. She is palm up, palm down. It's a little blurry, but you can see she is not rolling her wrists over. She is palm up, palm down at impact. And another thing at impact is the elbow is above the hands and the hands are above the barrel. So you've got this downward tilt to the bat. The bat is not flat at impact. There's a downward tilt to it. So she's in a perfect position there as well. And the last thing is, are her eyes on the ball? And they most definitely are. Her eyes are looking right down at that ball. So here's a checklist of using Megan Langenfeld. All right, Kelsey, we'll go through the first list of checkpoints with you. First off, we want to rotate and make sure our back knee faces the pitcher when we're done rotating. Make sure we got our hips and shoulders rotating there, and that looks perfect. Your back knee's facing the pitcher, your belly button's facing the pitcher, so that looks fine. Next is your front leg straight at impact. So we want it nice and flexed right until impact, and then we want it straight at impact, and that looks perfect. Is your back elbow bent? Yes, it's bent all the way to impact. That looks fine. You're up on your back toes. That looks good. Are you palm up, palm down, and are your elbow above the hands, hands above the barrel? There's your elbow above your hands, hands above the barrel. That looks good. Your palm up, palm down right there, meaning that you're not rolling your wrists at impact. So that looks good. And are your eyes on the ball? Let's take a look here, right at impact. Yep. There you go. You can see your eyes, your nose looking right at the ball. So as far as the first list of checkpoints, they look fine. Okay, now we're going to use our elite softball player, Megan Langenfeld, and she's going to show us how to get our body connected and how to rotate properly. So first off, here's right after her stride. You can see she's up on her front toe. She's at toe touch. And now she's going to drop her heel to heel drop, and that's going to start the rotation. So what I'm going to do here is draw a line on that side of her head, on that side of her head, and a line right through her body right there. And you can see she doesn't lunge. She doesn't move towards the pitcher. Once she starts to rotate, she keeps everything still and just rotates her body right around that stationary axis right there. Let's watch that again. Head still, body still, everything rotates, okay? So that's a proper way to rotate. Let's take a look at, as she's rotating, Ike to Mikey, okay? So here she is, her front shoulder's touching her chin. There's Ike. She rotates all the way to Mikey right there as well, okay? Another thing I want you to look at her front shoulder. Her front shoulder does not stop rotating until she hits the ball. It rotate. It keeps rotating all the way till she hits the ball. Let's look at another thing. Let's see, look at how her hands are about shoulder height when she starts, or about as high as the highest strike. Now we want to keep the bat nice and close to our back shoulder. As you can see, she does a great job of doing that, keeping the bat close to her back shoulder as she rotates. And the last thing we're going to look at is right at impact, we know that her back elbow is bent, okay? Now, after impact, everything extends. And now we're going to call this the power V, and you can see that our power V is up, just like that. So now we're going to use all these checkpoints and see how you guys look as well. All right, Kelsey, here we're going to check your rotation and your connection. By connection, we mean is your body, your back elbow getting connected, and is your whole body rotating together. So right when you start rotating, we're going to draw the lines in. We'll say right about there. So we want your head to stay still, and we want you to just rotate around the stationary axis here. So let's see how you do. And that looks really good. So you're just rotating. You're not lunging at the ball or anything like that. Your rotation looks really good. So that's a check. Let's take a look at your shoulders. You're going to hear Ike, Mikey. Ike is your front shoulder. Mikey is your back shoulder. And we want to rotate your shoulders from chin to chin. So right there you can see Ike is tucked in your chin. That looks perfect. and then we rotate, and now you rotate your shoulders all the way around, and now you get Mikey touching your other chin. So that looks perfect. Your shoulders are fine. Is your back elbow connected? And does your body all rotate and sync together? So right there, your back elbow is getting connected to your back hip, and then we want everything to rotate together. And yep, that looks pretty good. So you're getting connected and rotating everything together well. Your back elbow is bent at contact right there. Then you extend after contact. The only thing I'd say is if you compare your power V to Megan Langenfeld's, yours is more pointed down. You're swinging down on the ball just a little bit, maybe of a downward hand path. So your power V is down, and if you go back and watch her tape again, her power V is more pointed up like this. And you'll see in the next segment what's causing that is just the rotation of your front elbow. But overall, as far as checklist number 2, everything looks really good. Okay, now we're going to look at some of the keys to making good solid contact with the ball and hitting hard line drives as opposed to infield pop-ups. And what that entails is getting the bat on the plane of the pitch. So we're going to look at a lot of different things here. First off, what I'm going to do is plot Megan Langenfeld's hand path, okay? And I drew a yellow line right even with her logo on her shirt, her UCLA logo, okay? So I'm just going to plot her front hand here with a red line, and we're going to see what that front hand does as she rotates around. Okay, so it stays there. There it goes. You can see that her hands never drop below the yellow line. And her hand path is kind of this shallow U. And the barrel of the bat is going to follow what your hand path does. So you can see that's her hand path right there. It never drops below that yellow line. And what that's going to differ, and what you're going to see from some of the girls, is a lot of them have a straight down hand path where the hands go straight down like this. And that's what we're going to fix, and then that's going to lead to more consistent contact. The next thing we're going to look at is the path of her front elbow. So right here, she's going to begin to rotate. So I'm going to plot that same red line on her front elbow. The way she's able to keep her hands above that yellow line is her elbow rotates up on the same plane as the bat, okay? So the elbow rotates up. That's another important thing there. And the next thing is we're going to plot the barrel of the bat and the pitch, okay? So give me a second here to get this set up. Here comes the pitch, okay? So I'm going to plot the pitch with a green line. And there's the ball right there, and here's the ball right here. So the pitch is coming in right here. Right about there. Okay? Now I'm going to use a red line, and we're going to plot the barrel of her bat, okay? So right there, she's starting to get her barrel on the plane of the pitch. And her barrel is right there. Let's see, let's plot it again. Barrel's right there. Right there. So you can see, because of her hand path not dropping below the yellow line, the barrel of her bat is on plane of the pitch for a long time. That means if she's a little bit early or a little bit late, she can still make good contact with the ball because the barrel of the bat is on plane with the pitch. So now we're going to use these examples and see how you guys look. All right, Kelsey, here we go. We're going to plot your hand path and see if you're getting your bat on plane with the pitch. So we got the yellow line right at the letters, just like we had for Megan Langenfeld. Now we're going to plot your hand path here in red. So we don't want to drop the hands or swing down. We want to keep our hands right above that yellow line and swing kind of in a shallow U all the way to contact. And you can see you do that really, really well. You kind of swing down on it just a little bit, but you're keeping your hands high. And that's causing the bat to stay on plane with the pitch, which we'll see here in a second. So your hand path looks good. What I'm going to show you the difference is if I plot your elbow rotation, you're going to see that you rotate it up, but just not as drastically as Megan Langenfeld does. And that's why when you finish, your power V is down as opposed to her power V being up. And if you go back and look at her video, you'll see that at this position, her elbow is rotated up a lot more than yours has. So maybe that's something we want to try, work on, see if you like it or not. The reason I say I don't know if I'd change it is because your swing looks a lot like Jessica Mendoza, who's on the Olympic team, and I'll show you her here in a second. So overall, I think your swing looks great. Let's plot the ball now and see how that is opposed to getting your bat on the plane of the ball. So here's the ball, the plane that you can see the ball's coming in right on that plane right there. And now we'll do your bat in red. And we want to get the bat, you're on plane there, you're on plane there, you're on plane there, you're on plane there. I mean, that's great. You don't have this big hole in your contact zone. You're getting the bat on plane and hitting a lot of line drives. So overall, Kelsey, I think your swing looks great. And I'm going to show you Jessica Mendoza's swing here in a second. Okay, here we've got a side-by-side of you and Jessica Mendoza, who's one of my favorite hitters in the world. And I'm just going to cycle you both kind of through your swing. And you can see you look very, very similar. But the main thing I want you to see is at the end. So there you look similar right there. We'll go through the contact right here. So there's your contact position versus Jessica Mendoza's contact position. They both look identical. And I wanted to show you this because here's one of the best hitters in the world. She doesn't rotate her front elbow up as much as Megan Langenfeld does either. In fact, your swings are very similar. So that's why I'm saying I'm going to be talking about rotating the front elbow up. You can try it, see if you like it better or not. But even if you just keep swinging the way you are, it looks very similar to the way an Olympic athlete swings. So I just want to show you that.